Welcome. Welcome to Friday morning practice. Welcome to you on your mat. And let your mat be a place for you to place whatever it is that you're wanting to acknowledge, you're wanting to embrace. And maybe this practice is a dedication to yourself, yes, but also maybe a dedication to a loved one you haven't seen in a while, or a dedication to a loved one you just saw on Zoom an hour ago. Or maybe dedication to what's going on in the world, whatever that is for you, however that's landing in your body. So I invite you to close your eyes, find a seated position that your body speaks to. If you're preferring to remain lying down on your back, that's fine. Perhaps that resonates with you a little better this morning. But whatever position you choose, acknowledge the aligned spine. Acknowledge the alignment from the sitting bones to the crown. Acknowledge the space that you're creating both at the front of the body as well as the back. And really acknowledge the joints in your body, places in our body that we think of connection or links. So mobility comes from our ability to move joints. Joints don't move, we stay in one place. So notice the joints of your toes, maybe move them a little bit. The joints in your ankle, and how the toes and the ankles connect. Notice your knees, maybe even extending the leg or bringing it back, or just being consciously aware of your knees, that for most of us right now they may be bent. And then notice your hip joints, how the femur bones connect to this triangular shaped bowl we call our pelvis. And then visualizing the individual joints from the tailbone all the way up to the base of the head. Each of those vertebrae are connected. And they're connected and they also can move. So maybe even find yourself moving them a little bit. And then notice the joints of your shoulders. The front, the collarbone, the shoulder blades in the back. And how they have that potential to move in so many different ways. Notice the joints of your elbows. This hinge joint that enables us to manipulate the world. Notice the joints in your wrist, our 8 wrist bones that give us mobility in our hands. The joints in our fingers and our thumbs. Notice the joint around the jaw. This joint enables us to feed ourselves, enables us to speak. And there are many others that maybe not be so overt. We have places where bones are fused together to hold us in such a way that we can indeed move in the world with as much ease as possible. So taking care of our joints as we sit or we lie down. And then bring your attention to your breath. Let your breath move into those joints. Can you feel the breath in your toes, in your fingers, in your elbows and your knees? Can you feel from the very end of the fingertips and the toe tips all the way up to the top of the crown? As we exhale, can everything empty and leave behind an echo of softness? And repeating that experience of breathing into every joint and breathing out, leaving softness and ease in those joints. like joints in a door. It is joints that enable us to open and close that door. Same thing with our own joints in our body. It's those that enable us to not only move, but create fine adjustments and expressions in what it is that we want to put out in the world. It is because we have joints that we can hug one another. So perhaps our practice right now is more about that yearning to hug someone that we may not be able to for a while. Notice your intention. What is your intention for this morning? What drew you to sit on your mat, turn on your device, and choose to be here? What called to you? Perhaps your intention is one to simply embrace the world and its beauty and its perceived brokenness, or to embrace your community or your family or your loved one, or maybe to embrace yourself. Perhaps it's a combination of those things, all of them together. And then sharing in the welcoming sound of Om, breathing in. Perhaps keeping that theme or idea of an embrace throughout your whole practice this morning. Let your neck, your head slowly start to drop, your chin start to drop. And do so in a very kind, embracing way. And then slowly roll it onto one side. And then come back down to the center. And over to the other side. Can the movement be an embrace to those cervical vertebrae, the vertebra of the neck? Can the jaw relax?
The speaker in front of you will pick up more of your sound.
Okay. I am told that if the speaker goes in front, you can hear me better. There you go. Hope that's true. Yeah. And then increasing that movement by adding the area around the waist. So feel the head drop, slowly come back, switch directions. And as always, my invitation to hold space for you. Please listen to your body. If anything I'm offering does not make sense to you, if it's not clear, you're not sure, and you want to do something different, wonderful. Go ahead and do that. So one of the reasons I like to start many of my practices with this movement is that it's my way of saying hello to my spinal fluid. Like, hello, spinal fluid, thanks for being there, for enabling me to understand the world, for keeping me healthy. So, it's also a nice way to wake up. Yeah. And maybe involve a little bit more of the shoulder, a little more shoulders, easing them up, drawing them back. Imagining for a moment that your sternum is being pulled, being gently guided away from you. And then the mid-back, the space behind the sternum, draws you back. And then the space in front of the sternum takes you over to the side and forward. So those two areas of your body are kind of playing off against each other. A little bit of a pull to the back and we'll pull to the front. Effective and beneficial movement does not have to be complex to be really, really beneficial. Yeah. You continue with that if you like, or shifting to bringing attention to our legs. We start by bringing the legs out, leaning back into the hands, have your feet roughly hip width apart, leaning back into your palms or your elbows if you prefer, and then start to arc the knees. So now we're bringing that whole spinal movement that we were doing earlier a little more noticeably into the pelvis side. You can add the head by letting the head turn in the opposite direction, so knees to one side, head to the other. And maybe there's a side that you want to linger a little longer. Just kind of feel that for a moment. Maybe the other side. Or maybe not. Maybe the idea of continuous movement feels better for you. When you're ready, find your way back to seated. And pick up your right leg. So the left one can stay extended or bent. And as you pick up your right leg, you can do this in several ways. One is to just hold the knee and then literally guide the leg with the help of your hands. The other is to hold the knee and the foot and then guide it that way. So feel it feels right. I like to hold my leg on the outside. That works better for my shoulder structure. Some people like the idea of bringing the hand on the inside and doing it this way. It doesn't work for me. It really bunches up my shoulder. But it does work for others, so don't hesitate to experiment. Yeah. Easing around, feel that heel. Imagine that your heel is a big stirring spoon. Yeah. And the head can stay, or maybe kind of turn side to side as well. Make the movement as simple or as complex as you like. Guide the legs slowly across the body to your left side and take the other hand, now the right hand. Again, this is an option. If this doesn't work, just do this with both hands. But if this works, open up and let that right arm come around. And then the hand and the foot find each other, and then they go off in opposite directions. Okay, so again, you can hold on to the knee instead of the foot. Yeah. Stay nice and tall. Feel the space in the rib cage. And then maybe switch hands. So under the knee, or grab the toes, or the ankle, or even your pant leg. That's a nice idea too. Yeah. And then the head following the hand, the leg moving in the opposite direction. So stay tall, the sternum is lifted, nice and open, eyes follow the thumb, and bring it back. Stay tall, relax the jaw, easy breath, shoulders back and down. Good. One more time. Yeah. Yeah. And then draw the leg back, hand on your right hip. Yeah. And scoop around. So back to that major joint I was referring to in our intro, or in our centering hip joint. Where the femur and the hip, or femur and the pelvis meet, can we create a circle there? Bringing in a little more mobility. Simple movement is a wonderful way to create synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is a lubricant that we have in our joints. And when synovial fluid is not present, it's really easy to feel stiff and tight. But if it's present, then we have a lot more ability to do what we like to do, i.e. move. What our body's meant to do, i.e. move. Continue with that, or reach back for the foot. And bring that right knee a little further back, and now we're really accessing this hip flexor. And if reaching for the foot doesn't serve you, just bringing the knee back may be enough, and let the hand rest behind you. But if this is okay, let the head slowly turn to your left as you kick back, bringing a spaciousness into this right shoulder. And then ease up on the inhalation and exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel the space that you're creating, this gentle twist in the neck and back. And take your time. Let yourself feel the individual segments of movement, the individual engagement of the muscle group that is required, muscle groups that are required to do this. Notice your shoulder. Notice your ribs. Notice the hip that's on the mat. Yeah, oh, there's a little adjustment. I just heard my neck adjust. Yeah. And then release the leg, bring it out to the side. Bent. If you need a bit of support, just place something underneath the knee, if that gives you a little bit more. We're going to bring the hands on front and just play with that. For some of us, this may be helpful, and for others, that might not be necessary, in which case, just have the leg be. And then start to circle. So now we're not only involving the spine, but now we've got a little bit of hamstring and perhaps calves happening. And if you dorsiflex the ankle, if you pull the toes back, you might even get a little bit more sensation at some point in that circle. Yeah. Soften the jaw, let the head hang as it comes forward. And then notice it roll up. Round. There you go. Beautiful. And again, listen to your body, do something different. Whatever feels appropriate. And then when you're ready, bring your legs in. And place your hands on your knees before we do the other side. Place your hands on your knees and scoop the chin forward, glide the shoulder blades down, look straight ahead. Now the exhalation, rounding the shoulders, tucking the chin in, feel the space in your back. And again, inhaling forward. A little stretch in the sides of the neck. So we're not lifting the chin to look up, we're just creating length in the neck on both sides, and then exhale. Our neck is not designed to come back too far because then the little pointy bits in our vertebra can compress, and that's not a good thing for them. So we're looking to lengthen our neck, but not to drop the head too far back. And then release, and let's do the other leg. So picking up your left side, left leg, shoulders relaxed, and start to circle it. There you go, good. Draw it in, take it away. Deep breaths. Shoulders relaxed, crown reaches up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes perhaps, or if you're looking at something, let it be something that doesn't take you away from your experience. So maybe the spot on your mat, or rather than something really pretty in your room, or maybe outside your window if you're somewhere where you can see outside. Yeah. Stay inside, stay in your body. Maybe pause and just feel an extra sweet, juicy moment. And then guide the leg over to the opposite side, and the arm opens. Bring it back, and repeat. Take your time. In, breathing out. Relax the jaw. Again and again. Lots of space. Feel the space. Continue with that, or switch legs. Not switch legs, switch hands. Switch, whatever that is. Switch both. Ease the eyes, follow the hand, and bring it back. And open. Making an effort to really maintain the integrity of the spine here. So there's a nice neutral, long spine. And then we're rotating along that same axis. So rather than rounding forward, we're maintaining that elongation, that expressiveness through the spine. Back. Again. Back. And slowly come to the center. Draw your leg back. And here we are in our left hip circles. Really feeling that movement. One of the things I was doing yesterday was some gardening, which involved moving stones around and digging up a small tree / big shrub and planting it down the road at a friend's. Anyway, my body is really appreciating this movement this morning, so thank you for helping me be here. Yeah. And whatever we do in our hip is going to manifest in the whole spine. So notice if you're holding your jaw tight, can you release it a little bit more? If the neck muscles are more involved than they need to be in order to do the minimal work of holding your head up. Yeah. Stay with that, of course, or reach for the foot, or just bring the knee back. And then we're adding a little more of a rotation now to this. So before it was just a circle in the hip, but now we're adding a little bit of a twist. So hold on to the foot or not, slowly look over to the right side, kicking back if you like. Easing in. And exhale. Again and again. Breathing out. And back. And yeah, oh, how does this side feel? And then release. Let the leg extend. You need that prop underneath your knee. Maybe sometimes just a pair of socks, folded socks is enough, just to give you a little bit of support. Okay? Hands in front. Circle the torso. Relax the neck. Feel the weight of the head, softening the jaw. Lots of breath flowing deeply into your body. And as you exhale, see if you can exhale from a deeper place than the previous time. A little more carbon dioxide coming out. Yeah. Maybe there's a sweet spot to pause at for a second or two. Yeah, and notice the difference between the two sides. Be curious. Oh. And then release. Come on back, legs wherever you like. Maybe a little shaking out. And then sitting however you wish. We're going to come into a little bit of upper body movement. So if you want to be cross-legged, that's fine. Or tucked out or one leg out. So we're going to come into fountain breath. So fountain breaths are basically the reverse of sun breath. So the palms start together in prayer position. And then inhale, bring the arms up to the point that your shoulders are comfortable. So for some of us, they may just be here. And for others, it'll be a little higher. So this is the inhalation part. And then exhale. And as you exhale, turn your palms down at shoulder height and continue all the way down. Hands come back to the center. Tuck your chin in for a moment. And then inhale, lift, all the way up. Exhale, rotate all the way down. And again, inhale, straight up, lots of space. Slowly out to the side, letting the sternum stay lifted, so we'll have lots of space. Rotate and down. One more time, inhale. Exhale, let your palms turn to accommodate the neutrality of the shoulders. Good. And now the sun breaths, we start with the palms down, just like we were down here. Inhale, we're going to turn this into 2 segments. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate at shoulder height. So inhale here. And exhale. Okay, why are we breaking it down? Just to give us a real sense of what's happening in those shoulder joints. I was referring to joints at the very beginning during our centering. So this is a really nice way to be aware of what's going on in our shoulders. Okay, so let's do that again. Inhale, shoulder height. Exhale, rotate. Feel your shoulder blades glide down. Inhale. Yeah. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In and out. Great movement to do anytime during the day. So just for a moment, going back to fountain breath, palms come together, breathing in all the way up. Now I guided you to exhale as one movement, but if you wish on your own, you can do this in 2 segments as well. So inhaling up, exhale out, inhale, and exhale down. Okay, so I'm just offering it as one movement, but you can certainly do that. So just calling you, continue with that on your own. Otherwise, join me on our backs. So start with the hands on the knees or underneath the knees and start to circle the knees. Relax the jaw. And as the knees circle, coordinate the movement with the breath. So inhaling away. And on the way towards the body, exhale. This movement requires obviously a little bit of hip flexion. In other words, we're drawing or we're reducing the angle in our pelvis here. So we're creating a little bit of compression in the lymph nodes of the groin. It's a nice way to mobilize some lymphatic fluid. Yeah. Sometimes it feels nice to add the head movement to this. So as the knees roll to one side, the head rolls to the other. Comes back. That may feel like a little too much, but multitasking, who needs multitasking these days, right? Let's just keep things simple. In which case, just work with your legs. And then ease to happy baby. So sliding the hands on the inside of the knees, reaching for the shins or the ankles or the inside of the feet. Okay. And then start to rock side to side. Side to side. Now that side to side may actually bring you to touch the knee to the floor, and if it does, that's kind of an interesting thing. And if it doesn't, it's also very interesting, right? So it's not a requirement, it's just the body finding its natural range of motion right now. For some, you might even find yourself extending the leg, the lower leg, and then the other. So bringing in an element of playfulness. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like my feet. You can try bringing your feet a little closer to your face. And then come back to center, and this time let the feet come to the floor. The hands, for now, just rest. And allow your knees to open. So there's a butterfly position here. Feel gravity creating that stretch. And for some of us, if this feels a little too intense, you can take a rolled up towel, or if you have a bolster next to you. We're going to be here for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, so just make sure you're comfortable. Okay, so let the knees passively hang into that support if you need a support. Okay? If you don't need it, let yourself be. And then add the hands. Bring them back to interlacing the fingers and supporting the head. Elbows nice and relaxed and open. Keep the knees exactly where they are. Breathing in, and on the exhalation, with the help of the hands, slowly lift your head, but bring your elbows towards each other. So this is not about the abdominals, this is about stretching the back of the neck. Elbows towards each other. And then the inhalation brings us back down. Very slowly placing the head back on the floor. and opening the elbows. Exhale. If you'd like, you can let your knees, or your feet, excuse me, be a little further forward if this feels like it's a little too intense. And then slowly come back. If you're enjoying that movement or that position, you bring the heels a little closer to your hips. Again, exhaling up. Inhaling slowly down. Exhaling up. Slowly down. Notice what's happening in your joints, what's happening in your hip joints, what's happening in the joints in the vertebrae, in the spine, what's happening in the shoulders, the elbows, the fingers, the toes. Be aware the points in your body that are links, that link one region to another. Allow yourself to continue if you wish. Otherwise, slowly lower your arms to the side. And rather than bringing the knees up, because we just spent a bit of time really stretching the inner thighs, we don't want to bring them back up again like a boomerang. Just let them slowly, let the feet slowly slide away. There you go. Nice and slow. A little tapping. And then bringing the right knee in towards the body. Left leg stays bent or straight, so whatever feels better for that left side. Using just the right hand, so the left arm is relaxed by your side. Exhale, draw the thigh towards you. Breathing in, the hand guides the leg away. Exhale, draw towards you. Breathing in, breathing out. If you'd like, for those of you that are exploring pelvic floor exercises here, as you draw the thigh towards you, and the abdomen obviously contracts, let the pelvic floor also contract, so bring it up towards your sternum. Lots going on here in this movement. So inhale, ease it away. Exhale, sitting bones draw towards each other. Keep your glutes fairly relaxed up. Breathing out. And then giving this right hip a little more attention, place the ankle of the right foot on the opposite knee. Arms completely relaxed, both of them. This time the waist presses down. That's just a way to set the pelvis so that when we lift the foot, there's no stress on the back. So press the waist down, lift the left foot. Breathing in, move the left leg away a little bit. Exhale, bring it towards you. So notice the stretch that's happening in this right hip. If you'd like a little more sensation, a little more stretch, slide the foot higher up on the other thigh. Okay, if it's too much, then bring the foot up a little higher and let it actually maybe just rest almost on top of the knee. Okay. So the reason I'm not a big fan of reaching for the thigh, at least at this point, is because when we do that, we inevitably involve the shoulders. Right? Some part of your upper body has to be involved. But if the arms stay relaxed, then we're reliant exclusively on this left leg. It's doing the work. And that leg does not have to be linear. It can come more of an ellipse or a circle, exhaling into the point that has the greatest stretch. Yeah. Neck stays nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. And then guide the left foot to the floor, but keep the ankle on top of that left knee. Placing the heel where you feel it's roughly vertical, so the heel is under the knee. And if you're not sure, you can actually lift your head and have a look. Okay, make sure that that's straight. The reason for that is because we want to avoid having the knee collapse. So if the foot is too close and then come up, we're creating a lot of tension in the back of our knee. So keeping that knee in line with the heel is a good idea. Or even having the foot a bit more forward. Okay, just not in. Press that left foot firmly down, breathing in. On the exhalation, let the shoulders press down and slowly lift your hip. Now that lift may be just a little bit of a lift, like a half a centimeter, or maybe a little higher. As that's happening, let your right knee stay open. Shoulders relaxed. Tucking the chin in, feel the space that you're creating at the front of the body. Feel the space that's happening in the back of the neck. Notice the strength that your left leg has to put forth to hold you here. Just hold and breathe. Maybe turn your head a little from side to side, making sure the jaw is as relaxed as possible. Notice all the joints that are activated here and to hold you in this position. If this doesn't serve you, you can do this with both feet down and just do a classic bridge, okay? This is okay. Stay with it a few moments longer. Breathe. Shoulder blades pressing down, so there's an active form of effort here, both in the two shoulders and in the left foot. And then to release, ease gently down, keep the ankle on the left thigh, and repeat the lifting of the left foot. So press the waist down, lift the left foot. And notice if this feels a little different now. Maybe there's a little more space, or a little more warmth, or something a little different here. And then letting that go. And take it anything you like. Stretch. Maybe hug both knees. You just roll side to side. What would feel good before we do the other side? Our bodies are designed to experience movement in so many different ways. And many times some of the physical ailments that we find ourselves experiencing have primarily to do with the fact that we don't offer our body variety of movement. Okay, we sit, or we walk, or we do very specific tasks, but that freedom, what we call play, just letting the body play, we sometimes forget. So infuse a bit of play into your practice. Your body will thank you for it. So pressing the waist down and lifting the right foot. Breathing in, keep the arms relaxed, the palms face down or up, wherever they want to be. Inhale away, exhale towards you. Soften the jaw, relax the shoulders. Notice the space in your joints, the space in your hip joint, the space in your shoulders, the space in the back of the neck. Notice the space. Feel the breath. Is that right knee more circular or elliptical? Our mind sometimes can be a rather good saboteur. Just kind of hijacks us into doing things that aren't really serving us. So can we keep the mind as the witness, the observer? Observer of the breath, the sensations. You may be doing something completely different on this side or just some completely different period, and that's fine. If you're ready to explore the next piece that I was guiding earlier, is bring the right foot down. Let the knee be as open as it's prepared to be. Press the waist down just to start. And then on the exhalation, right foot strongly down. All four corners of that foot pressed. And then slowly lift as the shoulder blades press down. For me, activating the shoulder blades is a little easier if my palms turn up. For others, that does not serve them. So experiment. Try varied angles and see what's better for your shoulders. Breathing in and exhale, see if the hips can go a little higher. Notice the space between the pelvis, the hips, and the floor. Really honoring the strength of your right leg that holds you here. Shoulder blades pressing down, tucking that chin in. Breathe. So here we're not trying to keep the hips level. You might find that your left hip is a little lower than the right. That's okay. As long as the right knee is in line with the right ankle, you can do whatever you wish with that left hip. Okay, so unlike bridge where we are trying to keep our hips level, not here. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back, press the waist down and lift your right foot for one more little visit into that left hip. Deep breaths. Relax the jaw. Relax the muscles of the face. Yeah, all right. And then release into any playful like movement you like. Tap. Where's Gabriel's voice here? There you go. Yeah, all right. And then roll onto one side. Gonna come towards table. Coming towards it and then maybe actually landing in it. Okay, all the way around. Come to table. So do what you need to do to make sure that your wrist is comfortable. Wrists are comfortable. So on palms, fists, elbows, or those of you that have that little prop that gives their wrist some support, using that. And then let your knees be roughly hip width apart, so the thighs are clearly vertical. Okay. So here's our table, very defined and very symmetrical. And then begin to swivel your hips. So if I assume this facing you, so the head is looking, or the neck is straight, so you're looking down at your hands or your fists. And then swivel your hip to your right. And as you bring the hip to the right, let the head also come to the right. And then inhale to center and opposite. So hip to the left, head to the left. So just find your way in this movement. Okay, and feel free to change the hand position. Moving to your right, inhale to center and to the left. So the abdominal muscles and the back muscles are equally involved in cushioning or stabilizing the spine. So the vertebral column is basically, the image that you can create is that that vertebral column is cushioned between the abdominal muscles and the back muscles. It's not really, but that's what we're trying to do with our muscles, is use them equally. And then eventually find your way back to neutral. And as you do so, let your right leg now become the focus. So reach back, toes on the floor, pressing into the heel. So there's that calf and maybe hamstrings. Glide forward to inhale, glide back to exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Continue with that, or draw the head towards the knee and the knee towards the head. Inhale, reach heel to crown, lots of space. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale, round. You may even find that your head can actually touch, or your nose can touch your knee. And then go back. And forward. And back. Staying back, creating little circles with your right heel, with your whole right leg. Let those circles emerge out of the hips. And you may even find that your right hip will come up a little higher as the leg gets to move a little bigger, or in a little bigger movement, or bigger circle. Yeah. And then holding the leg steady with hips level, so using maybe your other hand to make sure the hips are level. Breathing in, exhale, reach back with your heel a bit further and the crown forward. So you can actually use your opposite hand if you like, and press your crown into your touch with that left hand, just to give yourself a little bit of an assist. When we're in class, sometimes I come around and I offer you an assist. So pretend I'm there. So use your hand, reach from heel to crown. Abdominals in place, back muscles supporting you. You can either bring the left hand back down, keep it on your waist, or open it up to the left. If you're going to bring it more forward, that's fine, but maintain the space between the shoulder and the earlobe. Hold and breathe. Notice the effort that this is required, that this requires. Notice the effort. Relax the jaw. Can you hold 2 more breaths? Does the body want to be held for 2 more breaths? That's the better way of asking that question. And then release, lower the arm, lower the leg. Take that same leg, bring it all the way over to your left side. Right elbow comes down if you're not there already. Relax this right arm. Look over the shoulder to get a glimpse of your right toes behind you. Left hand either remains on the mat or wraps around to offer a little more space, openness in that upper left side. Breathe. So there's lots of adduction happening here, so the back of that left thigh is pressing into the front of the right. If you'd like to go one more step to this, adding a bit more of a strengthening component, just an option. You can keep the arm behind or bring it down. Hover your right foot. Okay, so you can hover the right foot with your arm behind or in front, or not hover the foot at all. That may not be the thing for you this morning. Breathe, actively pressing into the heel. Jaw soft. You might find a little bit of movement happening here. This is a balancing pose, especially if you brought the arm behind you. It's okay to move. And then release, lower the leg, lower the arm. Take that same leg, bring it back to center, and step it forward. So the step may take 20 seconds, it may take 2. When you're there, take your time. Use your hand to help you get there. That's fine. Yeah. Hands on either side. Breathing in halfway back. Exhale all the way back. Lift the toes, hang your head. Halfway inhale. Exhale, knee and heel line up. Shoulders back. Breathe in halfway back. Exhale, hang your head. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more time, breathing in, breathing out. In and out. Good. Bring the weight onto your hand, step back with your foot. Coming into plank, palms or elbows or fists, for those of you that will try fists. So plank means that the knees are now further back. And they can stay, for some of us this will feel better. And for others, lift the knees. So it's the knees, not the hips. And we're not trying to bring the hips up. The hips stay down. On your elbows, on your hands. So from the side, the body looks like a ramp. Pressing back into the heels. You may also do this with your toes pointed, which brings a nice stretch into the ankles. Shoulders back. Deep breaths. Looking roughly where your fingers are, maybe just a few inches ahead of your fingers. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe. You can say a little mantra to yourself. This is a beautiful day. I'm doing really well. The world is a beautiful place. Keep breathing, keep holding. And then release. And draw back. All the way back. Head either down on the mat or let your head be resting on your fists. Mindful that if it's not appropriate for you to bring your head below your hips, the fist position may feel better for you. All right, let's try the other side. So coming back to your table. Check in with your palms, your wrists, what's better for you. Left leg goes back, starting with the toes on the mat. Press into the heel. Feel that space in the calf and the hamstrings. Breathing out. Breathing in. It is on the exhalation that muscles have the greatest ability to release tension. It's when we breathe out into the stretch. And the interesting dichotomy here is that it's also on the exhalation that our muscles are the most powerful. If we want to put forth great strength to do a task that requires great effort, we need to breathe out. Right? But in order to completely relax the muscle, if we breathe out nice and slow, we benefit from that a lot more deeply than if we were to be thinking about something else and not really paying attention to our breath. And then draw the knee in towards the head. Inhaling back. Exhale. We don't necessarily do the same thing on both sides, so on this side you may be doing something different. I often do. Continue with that, or maybe make little circles with your left heel. The circles get a little bigger, maybe. The hip comes around. Jaw relaxed. Relax the back of the neck. Good. Shoulders back, lifting the sternum just enough to make sure that the space between the shoulder blades is neutral rather than collapsed. And then hold rather than circle, and just hold. Check that your hip is level. Use your back of your hand to check that out. And then either bring the arm back down, open it out to the side, or a little more forward and hold. And hold. Observe the effort. Observe the body speaking to you, however it is speaking to you. And even find that right arm likes to move a little bit. And then release. Lower the hand, lower the knee. And this time, I'm going to come right up into kneeling. So it's just slowly ease through child pose, and then find your way up to kneeling pose. Bring the shoulders up with you. All the way up and back and down. Take that a couple more times. And then preparing for gate. So in gate pose, we start in kneeling posture. If you need some extra padding under your knee, don't hesitate to use your blanket or your towel. So you might want to turn sideways on your mat. Take your right leg out to the side. Okay. Yeah. And have this standing thigh, so the left thigh, be nice and vertical. And the right foot just a little bit ahead of the knee. And you'll see why in a moment. Okay. So shoulders remaining forward. However, this right hip may be a little further back, and that's okay. Right? So this is actually a similar position for those of us that know Warrior 2, in that the hips aren't necessarily square to the front. Okay. We are making an effort to open up this inner right thigh, though, as much as possible. And then ease the body so that the elbow, the right elbow, is now resting just behind the knee. Okay. That might mean for some of us the foot is too far, okay, in which case bring it in. What we're trying to avoid is this, where the heel is too close and then we collapse the knee. Right? So make sure that it's either slightly ahead or underneath. Ease the other arm behind. Now, this is similar to what we did earlier at the beginning of our practice, in that we're trying to open up that shoulder and look over that left shoulder. Inhale, let it fall forward. Exhale, ease back. So the right leg is bearing weight. The right arm is resting. Again, open up. And then find your way to neutral. Keep the arm that's there behind there and just look ahead and hold. Or lift the arm up towards the ceiling, part way, maybe a little further. For some, the fingertips will actually be in the same direction as the right toes, so you're reaching out. If it calls to you, and if you feel that your body is prepared to do that, take the arm that is on the leg and ease it off the leg. You can do that with the arm behind or out, wherever it is. Just see if the arm is a requirement for you to feel safe. And if it is, keep it there. And if it's not, play. Experiment. Good. And then inhale, slowly come all the way up. Left hand comes out to the side and lines up roughly with that left knee. It could be on the fingertips. If you have that prop, you can use your prop. Or if that feels like it's a little too low, you can take a bolster if you have one near you and rest the hand on that bolster. Okay? Press now into the left heel of that straight leg. Did I say left heel? No. Right heel. Your right heel. Okay. And reach the crown away from the heel. Right arm stays or comes up or continues. So the fingertips are oriented in the direction of the crown. Again, these are just ideas. You might be doing something completely different right now, and good for you for listening to your body. Another possibility is to hover that right foot. I like the helium balloon idea. Pretend there's a helium balloon attached to your right ankle, and it's just lifting it up. Yeah. And then release, slowly rolling forward. Tuck the leg in, and sink back to child, or to anything else you'd like. And feel the contrast between the right and the left side of the body. Feel the contrast. Yeah. And then the other side. So returning to kneeling. Yourself some padding if you need it. Take your left leg out. And if this feels, if just moving the leg out feels a little uncomfortable, do this with something in front of you, like if you're in your living room and you have a coffee table in front of you, or something that you can hold on to for a moment to get your leg out. That's fine. Yeah. Adjust the foot, and then ease the elbow or the upper forearm onto that lower thigh. Notice the stretch that's happening here. Try and keep that right hip back as much as your body will allow comfortably. Watch the angle of this knee, so the heel underneath or a little bit ahead, and that's fine. And then the right arm, where does it go? Does it stay beside you? Does it go behind you? Does it come up? Does it go over? If it's coming up and over, keep it along this frontal plane here, so it's going straight to the side rather than forward. So always maintain the alignment before we rather than reaching for distance. Okay, alignment comes first, distance follows. Yeah. The right hand can be wherever it wants to be. The left hand, palm up, palm down, or just relax. Sometimes people like to do mudras here, for those of you that know what a mudra is and want to do it, like a thumb mudra or one with your fingers. And as we did on the other side, is the left arm wanting to come up? Maybe yes, maybe not on this side. Notice what you need to engage in order to lift that arm. What needs to show up muscularly? Nice. And slowly easing back, the hand comes down somewhere in line with that right knee. Fingertips, palm, fist, or if you have a block or a bolster, pressing into your heel. The toes of that left foot can be forward or up or halfway, doesn't matter. But we are trying to keep the front of our body facing front as much as we can. And then take your other arm, left arm, reach up towards the ceiling. Or let it stay behind you. Okay. Or reach in the direction of the crown. And what if you were to attach a helium balloon to your left foot? What would happen? Or better yet, if the bones of your leg were bird bones. Birds have hollow bones. So they're very light. Right? Okay. As humans, we don't want hollow bones. That's not a good thing. It's just a momentary visit into the bird kingdom. And then release, slowly coming on back. Hands in front, lower your head. And we're going to come back up one more time to our kneeling pose. If you're tired of being in a kneeling position, if your body says this has been too much, then you can come back down to seated, okay, and just sit for the next bit. We're going to come to camel expression, so whatever serves you. So in camel, from kneeling, we place the hands on our back. If you're seated, the hands go to the floor for support, okay? So the toes may point or curl, okay, either way. And I like to start with my hands on my back because it gives me that sense of support and stability. Okay, I know I have support. Reach up to the crown, breathe in tall. Now the next piece on the exhalation is the tilting of the tailbone. So we're trying to draw the tailbone underneath and the pubic bone up towards the sternum. So you have this tilt. Once that tilt is there, so exhale into the tilt, Breathe in, and now exhale into the extension. Let the upper body now continue. So when the movement is coming from the pelvis rather than from the top. So we're not moving the head back and then the rest follows. Pelvis first, and then the rest. How far do we go? It's as unique as you are. Some of us will just go back a centimeter or so. Some of us won't need the hands on our backs, in which case they can slide over the buttocks to the upper thighs. Some of us might like the idea of going a little further and bringing the hands to rest on the heels. These are all ideas, options that may serve you. Head is in line with whatever the angle is at your sternum. So if your sternum is back 30 degrees, your head is back 30 degrees. The other image I like is to imagine that you're starting with maybe a grapefruit underneath your chin or an orange, and you're still holding on to that orange as you go back. And breathe. This is an incredible posture to not only strengthen your back, but to really release tension in the front of our bodies. Right? And that's an area that many of us carry a lot of tension because we spend so much of our day hunched over something, right? A phone, a laptop, a computer, the kitchen sink, whatever it is. And then to release, slowly let your upper body come back, the pelvis goes back, and we release back down to child. Yeah. Or to anything else that feels good. And then make our way onto our backs. So roll onto the side. Let the legs come in front, or find your way onto your back, however is most comfortable for you. And return to holding on to your knees. So notice how your back feels. Then easing into a twist. Feel the knees slowly fall over to your right side. Adjusting your body so that you have as much comfort as possible here. This is a passive twist. What I mean by that is that gravity is taking over, shoulder blades staying down. Once the knees have found their place, so they don't have to be aligned. One knee may be further down or further up. Just play with the angle that is appropriate for you. Once that is established, feel your left shoulder. You can actually use your right hand to very gently encourage that left shoulder to slowly, very slowly, ease towards the floor. And as the shoulder comes down, let your head roll to that side. And once you've established that shoulder is down, let your other arm, your right arm, release. And feel how gravity is helping you out. If you'd like to turn this into more of an active twist, guide the upper leg away towards the right hand and reach for the right foot. So now we're getting not just a twist, but also a stretch along the back of the left leg. And if you want to add even more, bring the lower leg, that right leg, back, reach for the right toes with your left hand, and access a little more stretch in your right quad and your right hip flexor. Head rolls to the left. Both shoulders are down. And breathe. Just ideas. Not all ideas are good ones, so see what's appropriate. Breathe. The longer and the deeper we are in a pose, the more important it is to come out of it slowly. The more important it is for the body to be given time to readjust to what you're asking it to do. So when it feels like it's time to switch, very slowly start to release. And one of the ways to slow ourselves down is to count the breaths. So maybe 4 or 5 breaths at least between being on one side, maybe even longer, maybe 7 or 8 breaths. So there's a seamless transition to the other side. Seamless. Different side, different set of sensations. If you like, you can use the tools that I was offering earlier. Your left hand, gently encouraging the right shoulder down. A little bit of a self-assist. The left arm either goes out away from the body or maybe comes and rests on the right knee. If you're drawn to adding a little more activation to this, reach for the right foot with your left hand. Guide that left. See that right leg away towards your left side. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore what I'm saying. It's fine. If you're continuing on with this, reach for your left foot with your right hand, keeping both shoulders down. Remembering that your body is the ultimate authority as to what is appropriate. Staying here as long as you wish, and sometime over the next 3 or 4 minutes. So if there's something else you want to do, something else that's calling to you, feel free to go there and coming into relaxation posture for a guided relaxation. But for now, give yourself time to unravel into anything else that would complete your practice. Whatever it is. What would call to you? You're in the comfort of your own room, of your own space. There's something here that maybe you would never do in class, but right now it's really great. Whatever it is. Yeah, this is your class. This is for you. Anything else before the body says, let's relax? So letting your body find comfort. It may be with a pillow or something underneath your knees. It may be with something under your head. It may be with the palms out to the sides. It may be with hands on your belly. One on your belly, maybe one on your heart. Many years ago, I was in a class where I was encouraged to be with my palms up in relaxation. It didn't work for me. And I did not feel very comfortable in that context because it seemed like I was doing it wrong based upon the instruction. So please know that no one can tell you how to be restful, how to rest. You're the only one that knows that. Tapping into our breath, breathing in fully, releasing it with an audible sound. Arrive on your space. Letting those joints that we were referring to at the beginning of our practice, let them relax. So beginning with the joints in your toes. Let those joints be open and soft. Notice the joints in your ankles. Your right ankle, your left ankle. Can those joints completely relax? Notice the joints in your knees, your two knees, your right knee, your left knee. Can those joints relax? Notice your hips. So much happening in our hips. It's the joint where the thighs, bones meet the pelvis. It's the joint where the sacrum meets the pelvis. Relaxing those joints. At the joints of the spine, from all the way from the tailbone to the base of the skull, can those joints relax? Relax the joints of the shoulders. Relax the joints of the elbows. Relax the joints of the wrists, the fingers, relaxed. Relax the jaw. Allow your eyelids to be heavy. Maybe the lips touch or they're slightly open. And imagine for a moment that you're resting on the most comfortable surface. Maybe it's exactly where you are. Maybe it's a warm sandy beach. Maybe it's a woolen blanket. Green grass on a hot summer day. Take a moment to find yourself visualizing that spot. Sinking into the support that this place is offering you. How it yields to the shape of your body. I feel the peace sink in like a balm upon my soul. Healing is here. Healing is happening. My heart is reawakening. Love replaces pain. Memories of past hurt flicker in the distance. Nothing more than a glimmer, replaced by a deeper truth of always present serenity. A new day is upon us. A new chapter is unfolding. One day at a time. One moment, one instant at a time. Adding up to divine perfection, returning me to myself. Returning me to love. Healing is here. Healing is happening. My heart is reawakening. And love replaces pain. If you're drawn to continue to remain resting wherever you are, please do so. If you're drawn to transitioning to whatever the rest of your day is going to offer you, begin to deepen the breath, releasing it with an audible sound. Letting the toes wiggle, the fingers move. The head roll a little from side to side. Movement getting a little bigger until it turns into a stretch. Maybe a yawn. Maybe a little bit of forced lips. Letting go. And here you are, seated. Reflecting on how you're feeling now compared to when you sat down and lay down to begin our time together. How do you feel now? Perhaps making an intention to take the benefits of your practice today into the rest of your day. If it speaks to you, allow your arms to slowly reach out to the sides, breathing in all the way up. Light is eternal, O soul of the cosmos. Fill us in light the darkness of night. Go thou with us through all of life's journeys and make us one in thy light. Giant one.
Giant one.
Thank you. Thank you. For those that are in the room, there's a few beings around here. And for all of you out there for joining in.